What's going on, Spurs fans, and welcome to another Hotspur live stream here on Stateside Footy. It's your boy Steve, and God damn it, what an opportunity do Spurs have this afternoon at Villa Park as they travel to take on a heavily rotated Aston Villa Football Club. And of course, Aston Villa taking no chances as they are preparing for their Thursday matchup against Nottingham Forest in Europa League, and it's of course a tournament that they are definitely looking forward to winning. So for this game, listen, this opportunity is not going to be coming along much longer for Spurs. Last week, taking care of Wolves in a let's just call it what it was a match that was kind of a dirty, ugly win. But that being said, they got exactly the result they were looking for. Fast forward now a week later, and here is the opportunity that Spurs have been waiting for. West Ham did not do what they were supposed to do against Brentford, losing 3-0 in a game where, they had their opportunities. They just necessarily couldn't cash in on them. And now the stage is set for Spurs to get 3 points at Villa Park, get themselves above the relegation line, because what happens next week at home, Spurs have Leeds and West Ham have Arsenal. And so it is a way for Spurs to put themselves in a nice little buffer ahead of that match against Chelsea. And of course, if they handle their business today, Spurs are staying up. It's essentially that simple. This is the match where a draw is not going to do anything for this club. It is literally 3 points or death. I hate to be the one to say that, but it really kind of feels that way. Now, of course, if Spurs are in a position where they do happen to get a draw today, okay, fine, you're going to take the point, because, again, next week is an opportunity again against Leeds at home. And if they do happen to pull above the line, now you're looking for help. And so from that standpoint, today is the opportunity. Today is the must win. Today is the day where, listen, man, these players, they're going to earn their salary. So from that standpoint, man, this is an absolute big one. And of course, a couple of years ago, in Ange Postecoglou's first season, this team in the second half went to Villa Park and put up a 4-0. So it is not necessarily impossible. That being said, I don't think that match has any correlation on today. I'm just saying that, this team has gone to Villa Park and put up a result. So, take that for what it is. But again, man, massive opportunity for Spurs today. And, we're going to get into some of the, I guess you can say matchups. But before I do that, please do me a favor and support the channel by giving a like and subscribe button, and also hitting the notification bell as well too. We're getting pretty close to 500 subs, so it would mean a great deal to me for you guys to hit that subscribe button and also hit that like button as well. So please do me that favor, because the quicker that we can get to that number, the quicker we can do some really cool shit on this channel. So, all right, so there's that. Let's see. Let's take a look at the Spurs starting 11 today. And let me clear this off the screen. There we go. All right. And of course, Roberto De Zerbi is going to keep his shape as he has kept since obviously since the Sunderland match. And in goal is going to be Tony Kinski, and I don't think that's going to be any surprise. It feels like Tony Kinski is going to be the number one between now and the rest of the season, especially with Vicario. His future is pretty much written in stone. It seems like he's probably going to be back in Italy at Inter Milan. And so from this stage, you kind of look at the progression of a guy like Tony Kinski, and he has gotten better week by week by week, to the point where, last week, in that crunch time with that free kick right outside the 18 against the Wolves. And dude, that boy came up clutch to the point where, you're kind of looking for skill. And it kind of seems like Tony Kinski kind of does everything that Vicario does, just a little bit better. And now this is the opportunity for him, to remind a guy like Roberto De Zerbi that he's more than capable of starting at the Premier League level. And let's also remind folks that when Tony Kinski was brought in, there was a promise that he would compete with this first team. And so he's getting the opportunity. So there you go. The back line, Pedro Porro will be starting on the right side, and I know that there's a lot of Spurs fans that are not necessarily happy with Pedro Porro, but I'm going to tell you that right now he is the best right back this club has. When you're talking about playing a ball forward, when you're talking about pinging the ball in the box, and yes, I understand that he's not perfect, but the reality is in a game of this magnitude, and considering that Unai Emery has rotated, this could be an opportunity for Pedro Porro to dial up something nice this afternoon. And so from that standpoint, you're going to play that guy over a guy like Jed Spence. And it's no disrespect to Jed Spence. Spence is exactly what he is. But in a game of this magnitude, you're not going to risk sitting a guy like Pedro Porro. On the left-hand side, Destiny Udogie comes back into the starting 11. He is available. And again, this is the same situation. Why not play a guy like Jed Spence? Because there is some familiarity. And all it really takes is a stiff breeze to knock out Udogie for 4 weeks. But again, best left back on the team when it comes to skill. When you're talking about holding that width off the left-hand side, he is a left-footed player. And me personally, he brings far more to the starting 11 from the left back spot than a guy like Jed Spence, who wants to drift centrally because he's a right-footed player. It's only going to be natural. But Destiny Udogie is back in. The center back pairing is going to be Mickey Van de Ven, who is wearing the captain's armband, and Kevin Danso. The double pivot is going to be Rodrigo Betancourt and João Palhinha, and I'm glad that João Palhinha is back in the starting 11 because we're going to need a little bit of grit and we're going to need a little sandpaper in the starting 11, just considering what Aston Villa is putting out there today, what is on their bench. It is absolutely necessary that not only do you actually have that type of dude that's going to be able to step in, make challenges, potentially make that wipeout sliding tackle, but also somebody that actually can handle the ball, get forward, and of course on set pieces, he just seems to get on the end of them on set pieces, especially if the ball bounces in the box. He just seems to be in the right place, and so you're going to want, especially in this game where we have no idea exactly how this thing is going to get played out, and if it comes down to set pieces, you want some dude that at least has the ability to score a goal if you need it. Also, Rodrigo Betancourt, he has been an absolute savior to this team coming back into the starting lineup, and he has played absolutely exceptional. And I'm glad that Yves Bissouma is not in. And as much as I do rate Bissouma, you can't necessarily count on him in big games. The attacking four for Spurs, we'll see Rando Kolo Muani on the right-hand side. And again, Roberto De Zerbi is going to trust his best skilled players, and he rates Kolo Muani, even though it's obvious that he just does not work as a winger. It just is what it is. He can't do it. He is a striker. But that being said, because he does have a set of skills, in theory, it translates to the right-hand side. But listen, it is what it is. And so you're hoping, especially if the ball is going to be played down the left-hand side, that he is going to hit the back post and he's going to be in a position where he might come into play to score a goal. Matisse Tell is going to be on the left-hand side, and I think that actually helps. I think that helps a lot of people. I think that actually makes a lot of people a little bit happy. Matisse Tell does have the ability to skin a defender, get himself in a position where he can play up all in. He does have the ability just to try shit. He will take shots from distance, and that's what I like. His passing ability is a little underrated, but that being said, this is his opportunity, especially considering I don't think this is the game where you want to expose James Maddison, not for long stretches. And of course, we have no idea how much, gas is in the tank with Maddison, but from the standpoint of, you're kind of looking at Matty Cash back there. The last thing you want to do is put a dude in harm's way. I do think Maddison sees the pitch at some point today, but you're talking like maybe the last 15 minutes of the ball game, that type of situation. Conor Gallagher is at the 10. And that's not anything new. We've seen Conor Gallagher play higher up the pitch. And because of it, he's actually played a lot better. And of course, Richarlison will be up top. And Richarlison, whether you like him or not, he's our best striker. Currently, as far as goal scorers and his ability just to get into good positions, with Richarlison, it's hitting the target. I understand it. but this is the best possible 11 that Spurs can put out for this one, bar none. Bar none, this is the best 11. Now, the downside of this is there's no striker on the bench, and there's nobody that is on this bench that is going to be able to, to be an impact player. Maybe Sarr, maybe Bergvall, maybe Gray, who knows? But really, there's just nobody that you can point to on this bench and say, okay, cool, this is going to be the impact guy. So for this starting 11, it has to start strong. It absolutely has to start strong. And in the first 30 minutes, it has to get a goal on the board without a doubt. Without a doubt. This game is down to this 11. This is the most important 11 that we're going to see this season. And it is going to be on these guys to press forward, put Aston Villa on their back foot, and literally just make life hard for Martinez back there. And it's nice because Aston Villa's rotated, and there's going to be ample opportunity. Speaking of Villa, they're coming out in a 4-2-3-1, and as I mentioned, Martinez will be in goal for Villa. The back four of Matson and Matty Cash on the as the outside backs. And their center back pairing this today is going to be Tyrone Mings and Lindelof. And there's going to be plenty of opportunity because those guys will make mistakes. And of course, Mings will be wearing the armband today. The double pivot will be Yuri Tielemans and Bogard. And the attacking four will be Morgan Rogers, Jadon Sancho on the right-hand side with Barkley underneath and Abraham up top. So the sky is the limit for Spurs. They got exactly what they asked for, which was a rotated Aston Villa club. Fantastic. Now the ball is in your court. Let's see you go pick up 3 points because this one's going to be massive. As we are getting set for this one, let's go ahead and get into today's predictions. So you guys let me know. What you guys feel like this one will come down to. Who do you like? What is your score prediction? And let me know exactly who the man of the match that you think is going to be today. And of course, all of that's going to be available on TikTok Live. You're more than welcome to drop that into the chat here. Also here on YouTube, the chat is open. So let me know exactly what you guys feel this thing will come down to, and who wins and who's your man of the match. And of course, same thing again on X as well too. Same on Facebook. You guys are awesome, man. So yeah, man. Let's get this thing going. I like the matchup between Richarlison and potentially Kolo Muani with Matisse Tell and Conor Gallagher against that rotated center back pairing. I think there's going to be mistakes. I think there's going to be opportunities. The question is, how quick are Spurs going to how quick are Spurs going to start? Because that's what this is going to come down to. They can't feel their way into this match and waste the first 30 minutes. They have to come out two guns a-blazing, and they're going to have to, get in good tight spaces and take chances early. And potentially get that first goal within the first 30 minutes. If they're able to do that, this thing is going to open up. And here on here on TikTok, it looks like it says Sophia says 2-1 Spurs and Mickey Van de Ven. Yeah, there you go. And this possibly could be one of those matches where it comes down to set pieces. Absolutely, it could come down to that. And when you have a guy like Mickey Van de Ven, when you have a guy like João Palhinha, who just seems to be in the right place at the right time, it very well could be. It came down to it last week, and João Palhinha ended up being that savior. So 100%. I'm going to go with I think I'm going to go with a 2-1 Spurs win. And I guess my man of the match, I'm going to go off the beaten path today. I'm going to say it's going to be Conor Gallagher. That's going to be my man of the match today. As we are getting set for the start of this one, Spurs are going to be playing, and it looks like they're going to be playing from right to left. Look at Villa Park. That's an okay ground, I guess. It's not sexy. As, yeah, Spurs will be playing from right to left. As we are underway, as that ball will get played back to Big Tones. Tony Kinski, as that one will go long down a central area, but it's going to come back down, and Spurs will hold possession here as this gets played back to Tony for some stupid reason when Mickey Van de Ven was just right there. So Spurs will concede their entire half. And here's Big Tones now, as the Sun is playing against Spurs back here. As looks like Big Tony Kinski's wearing that bright orange goalkeeper kit here, as he will play this one out to the right-hand side, as it is Kevin Danso. As Spurs try to weave their way down the right-hand side, there's a ball forward, trying to find Richarlison. It looks like he got his foot onto it, but it was just a little bit over the head of Richarlison. That was a good ball over the top from Pedro Porro, but right there was Martinez. As Spurs, again, entered today 2 points clear, 2 points back from the drop in 18th place. A victory today. That's a good takeaway right there by Spurs. Here's Richarlison. Tries to play it in. Oh, God damn it. He had Randall Kolo Muani wide open off the right-hand side as Richarlison tried to take the shot. That was such a good giveaway right there. And it looked like it was Conor Gallagher that ends up getting into it. And Richarlison, instead of looking for Randall Kolo Muani, it looked like a defender got there to poke that one away. So this will be a corner kick for Spurs. A minute 55 in here to the first half. And Spurs get their first corner. And it will be Matisse Tell who will put this one on. Back post. Headed up. And this one will go out. As João Palhinha. As this looks like it goes off Morgan Rogers. As João Palhinha absolutely bodies Morgan Rogers from getting to that ball. So that'll get out. And Spurs will have another crack at this corner. And it again will be Matisse Tell. This time from the right-hand side. As Spurs are in their yellow. As this one will go in. Headed down, and there's Martinez right there. As Kevin Danso can't get to it. So Spurs 0 for 2 from their first corners. And already somebody's limping, as that's a good ball over the top. As Udogie has to catch up to Jadon Sancho. As he does. As that ball will get out, last touched. Looks like by Matisse Tell, so this one will get out for a Villa throw. As coming back in, looks like it's Matty Cash. What a fucker. That dude is just a fucking asshole. Good player, though. As we have Burn 33. Yep. We just need a quick goal to set the tone. I agree. As that ball gets played in, it will go over the head of Abraham. Yeah, Matty Cash is a fucking cunt. Pardon my French. Oh, somebody got mad that I cursed. Aw. Yeah, somebody complained that I cursed on TikTok Live. I'm sorry, guys. Sensitive ears? Yeah, what are you going to do? That's funny. You guys are awesome. Anyway, as Aston Villa will have possession here as we are approaching the 5th minute. Oh man, I love you guys. As Martinez now will hold possession. As that's taken away in the midfield by Spurs. Here we go. As Matisse Tell does a very good job. As Destiny Udoji will play it back to Mickey. And here's Van de Ven, who lays it off to Matisse. Tried to flick on forward. There was just nobody there. So this ball will get thrown in. So Villa will have possession. That's a good little challenge right there. So this thing gets pushed out to Matty Cash off the right as he's flanked by two Spurs defenders. That's actually really good defense right there by Spurs as that makes its way back to Martinez. And it looks like he's only got one place to go. Spurs are actually doing a very good job of pressing the ball here. And that's taken away by Spurs in a very good position here. As Mickey Van de Ven passes this one all the way to Udoji. Here's Matisse Tell 1v1 against Cash. And that's a good ball forward. Finds Udoji. Udoji centers it. As Richarlison comes away with it. And what are they going to say? Is that one went out? That was such a good pass forward right there by Matisse Tell. As yeah, it did get out, I guess. That sucks. Whatever. Goal kick for Villa. Look at all the young Spurs fans in attendance today. I like to see that. 15-year-old kids, new traditions, all that good stuff. As we're now in the 7th minute, as Martinez will play this long. And that's taken away by Spurs yet again. As Spurs were doing the dirty work, and that was a good interception right there for Villa. As that ball makes its way to Matty Cash. Tit for tat right there. Right there in the midfield. On the right-hand side. That's a good ball forward. Here comes Villa. Nearly taken away by Spurs. Now they'll switch it off to the left. And that will get away from Morgan Rogers. So Spurs will have the throw in. Looks like Villa's kind of nervy here. And of course, Villa lost to Forest just recently. Now that one's taken away right there. Spurs come away with it though. And there's going to be a foul against Yuri Tielemans on Randall Kolo Mwani. Say that name 3 times fast. It still comes out Randall Kolo Mwani. I thought I was being cute there. Here's Van de Ven. And he'll play this back to Big Tony. As Tony now will pop it out to Pedro Porro. And there's going to be a switch to the left-hand side. He does. Oh, God damn it. Matisse Tell was there. Matty Cash was just in position. Oh, look at that play by Matisse. Oh, what a save by Matty Cash. So here comes Villa now. Oh, look at Conor Gallagher to break it up. And again, Villa in the right place at the right time to control possession. But Spurs are definitely up for it here in this first half, at least in the first 10 minutes. And that's going to be a ball down the left-hand side. Here comes Udoji trying to get to it. It'll get out. As Jadon Sancho can't catch up to it. As Barkley tried to play one forward. If for those that are on TikTok that can't figure it out, yeah, I got somebody complained that I used bad language. The language police were out. As Spurs now will hold possession as we are now past the 10-minute mark here in the first half. Spurs yet have really gotten into a position in the buildup where they can actually play something decent into the box. They have done a very good job on the defensive side, as there was a flick there by Randall Colomwani, but that ball gets sent back, and back on it will be Mickey Van de Ven. As Spurs will try this one more time again, as it'll go to Kevin Danso. As it is VDV. As Porro now will try to play it up the right-hand side. There's a chip forward as they were trying to free Colomwani, as that one gets played out, as Mings has no chance, no choice but to play it out. So I think this will be a Spurs throw-in. As John McGinn is watching this one from the seats. For Villa. So this will be a long throw for Spurs, and it'll be Kevin Danso. Big Kev. As this one will go in. Headed forward. Here's Conor Gallagher. Will come down with it. Gallagher takes a rip and he scores! There it is! Conor Gallagher! What did I tell you? What did I tell you? Man of the match. As Conor Gallagher just absolutely just uncorks one from outside the 18 from a central area, and it finds the back of the net, and Spurs grab the early 2-1 lead. As he just unloads. And Spurs, what do you know? As Conor just puts one on. And I like it. There you go. Spurs grab the early lead. And there's Burn 33. Come on, you Spurs. There you go. The confidence-laden Spurs. And so all of a sudden now, and by the way, that was Gallagher's first goal of the season for Spurs. As, Richarlison nearly got it. That was a late tackle. As Richarlison came in to challenge it. Actually, he got to the ball. That's the crazy thing. Tyrone Mings goes butt over tea kettle. Yeah, that's right. I can't say the A word. Sensitive ears on TikTok. As play is resumed here. Here's Matty Cash off the right-hand side. And again, Spurs do a good job right there of essentially doubling Cash off the right-hand side. I kind of like that, as now Martinez is going to have to play one long. And right there is Kevin Danso. And it looks like this is going to be Conor Gallagher. And he's going to try to play one up the right-hand side. Here's Colomwani. And, yeah, that's going to go back to Villa there. As Dan Davenport. What's going on, Danny? As Cash will play this one long, trying to find Sancho. And there's Destiny Udogie. So here comes Spurs now. And here's Matisse Tell, who will play this one back to VDV. You got to like the AI summary there on TikTok. NFL coverage. As there's going to be a whistle. As Danso is down. As we see it again, it looks like it's going to be Abraham that will step on the foot. As play resets, for those that are tuning in, Spurs do lead 1-0 on an absolute bullet of a goal. Oh, and here comes Spurs now. It's going to be a chip forward from Matisse Tell, headed back down, but Tell will hold possession. That's a good play right there by Villa. But Spurs will hold possession now as they get the ball back. As through the first 15 minutes of this match, it's been all Tottenham. As this ball makes its way back to Big Tones, who now will play this one long. But find Richarlison. Here's Conor Gallagher. Down to the right to Kolo Muani. Here's Kolo. Cutting in. Plays one centrally. That was a good ball centrally. But there's going to be another rip-on goal, and it hits the post! Oh, and it was João Palhinha. And it was going to be offside because Richarlison was a mile offside. But again, Spurs picking their poison from outside the box. Oh. And Villa got lucky right there. As Martinez is going to play this one long. As it's Pedro Porro. What has gotten into this group of Tottenham Hotspur? They're actually starting to play like a football team. As this one goes down to Matisse Tell, Matty Cash does a very good job as that one gets punched all the way back. As it finds its way back to Big Tones. As Kinski will play it long. As it drops into a central area. As Aston Villa will control possession. And I think there's a whistle. So this will be a free kick for Villa. As this ball will go forward. That's a good little forward ball, but it looks like Spurs might come away with it, and they do. Here's Richarlison. And there's going to be a whistle. As Richarlison gets pushed to the ground. Play resumes. So mission accomplished. Spurs get that goal within the first 30 minutes. As they have certainly set the tone in this one. Now let's get the second one. And make it harder for Villa to come back into it. As here's Matisse Tell off the left-hand side. 1v1 against Cash. Cuts in. As that one will go centrally. And it'll find Mickey Van de Ven. Oh, that's good defense right there by Villa. Here comes the counterattack now. Down the left-hand side. Oh, nice play by Danso to break it up. Here's Kolo. Gets away from his defender. Here comes Mwani. Mwani drifting in centrally. Lays it off. There's a ball in. As Matisse Tell was there. Good defense right there by Matty Cash. As it'll find João Palhinha. That's a good ball to the right. Here's Kolo Mwani. As Pedro Porro will have to pass it back. That's a good ball through. Here's Tell. 1v1. Lays it off. To the right-hand side, here's Kolo, marked. Ball into a central area, and there's just nobody there. But Spurs will come away with it. As Abraham hits the deck. No whistle, though. Here's Matisse. As Matty Cash has locked him up pretty solid on the left-hand side. As that one get played back to Big Tones. And Spurs will reset off the left-hand side with VDV. And now it'll be to Big Kevin Danso. Spurs passing has actually been quite well today. Their buildup has actually been fairly solid. Here's Matisse Tell. As that one will go out off of Matty Cash, so this will be a throw-in. As this one will get played back. Yeah, so Burn says, I know we're not currently in a position to gloat, but of the many years going to Villa Park, we always seem to get points there. We got points just a couple years ago. I believe it was the end of Ange's first season in 2023, 2024. I think we took a 4-0 at Villa Park. I think they were, that was the year they finished 7th, I believe. Some of these guys were a part of that team. They certainly know how to play here. As VDV, we'll play this back, and it will be Big Tones. As Kinski will play this long. Does have a man there. That's good defense, but that'll find Matisse Tell. As he plays this centrally. Gallagher back to Tell. Tell's got a spot. He's going to play one in. Headed down. Oh! And Martinez comes up with a good save. I think that was Kolo Mwani that got on the end of it. That was a good ball in by Matisse Tell as it goes over the head of Richarlison, and it was Randall Kolo Mwani at the back post that just gets his foot on it, but Martinez with a good parry right there. And so Spurs will have another corner here. This will be their third. As we are approaching the 25th minute, that ball goes in, headed down. There's a shot by Danso, and that's going to get deflected, but Spurs will hold this one back in. Here we go. There's a ball in. Oh, it's a goal! Richarlison! Richie! Put Spurs up 2-0. Oh my God. And are Villa fans leaving already? After 25 minutes? Is that what I'm seeing? As Richie. What a ball in, too. And I believe that was Pedro Porro. Oh, no, it was Matisse Tell, who was absolutely spot on as Richie puts it past Martinez. Oh. Oh. Richie. Relegation Richie. And Spurs now have grabbed a 2-0 lead. And as things stand, Spurs are above the relegation line. If you're going off of live points, Spurs now are in 17th place, and there's a turnover. Here's Richarlison. As now that ball will switch to the left. Here comes Udoji. Unbelievable. And here's Kevin Danso. As that ball will go forward. Here's Kolo Muani. He just runs out of real estate. He says, we always seem to have Villa on Boxing Day, so my dad got tickets for us as my brothers are Villa fans. Oh, okay. So you're the lone Spurs fan in a group of brothers that are Villa fans. That's pretty cool. But it looks like now all of a sudden the Spurs are up now 2-0. It looks like Villa actually have some players that are warming up. As Unai Emery is getting a little nervy here. Spurs lead by 2. And that one's going to be taken. It is going to be taken away. Here's Matisse Tell. Lay it back. Here's Udoge. Then it'll be João Palhinha as they will work this one all the way to the right-hand side. Here's Kevin Danso. And now we'll find Mickey Van de Ven. As Villa have dropped all 10 behind the ball here. Oh, that's a good pass forward. Spurs have space. Good dribble forward. As that one has to get played back. Here's Mickey Van de Ven. That's a good ball forward to Richarlison. Flicked on to Tell. Spurs will hold possession. As that one will make its way all to the right. Here's Pedro Porro. Can Spurs get 3? And really put this one away? God, when is the last time we've seen Spurs do this? Oh, that's a good run. There's a ball forward. It will find Muani. Here's Muani's ball. That'll go over the head, but there's Matisse Tell. Not exactly a good through ball. A good through ball there by Muani. But Spurs chase it down. And that's good defense right there by Villa. As they are looking to break here. They're going to have to play this one back. As we are approaching the 30-minute mark, Spurs do lead 2-0. Goals by Conor Gallagher and goals by Richarlison have Spurs in a little bit of a comfortable spot. That's a good sliding tackle. And are they blowing this one against? As Conor Gallagher came in to make a challenge. That was a hell of a challenge by Conor Gallagher. Are they blowing this one against Gallagher? Yeah, I think so. And Roberto, so it turned out that De Zerbi was the magic man. as Unai Emery is staring down the possibility of losing to Spurs for his, I think, second time. As Spurs have the throw-in, and Danso has to play it forward. As JJ the DJ says, how's it going, bro? Good. Pretty good, man. Good to see you, JJ. The DJ. Here's Matty Cash. And so this looks like this is Villa's really first opportunity in the build-up in the first half. As that one will go down to Cash, who will swing it all the way back. As it'll be Tyrone Mings who will play it forward. That's a good ball. As Spurs are playing good defense here. And that one is going to stay with Villa. It looked like it was going to pop back for Spurs. As Villa now is going to try to work this down the right-hand side. It's Matty Cash. And now they'll switch trajectory here. As Richarlison stepped one in to try to poke it away. Here's Cash. Plays it off. Here's Jaden. That's a good ball forward, and that actually that was a terrible ball forward. As that one will go out for a goal kick, as that was nowhere near the inside run of Matty Cash. As Villa fans are going absolutely batshit crazy. As Villa fans were just assuming this would be a cakewalk because it's Spurs. As Kinski will play this long. And that'll get out, so Villa will have the throw-in. Here's Cash. And he's got to play this one back. As Spurs have done a fantastic job, really, defensively. As that one's tipped away. Oh, and Colo can't get to it. As that one will get played out. Can we get statistics update on the game? We can. Currently, Spurs have a 60-40% in possession. As here comes Villa now into the box. As João Palhinha does a very good job of trying to break that one up. Spurs do lead the XG battle 0.91 to 0.00. They also lead the shot battle 6-0. 4 shots on target. Spurs have had 2 big chances. They missed one. They also lead in accurate passes. They lead the corner battle 3-0. So currently Spurs have been absolutely dominating up to this point. If he wanted to, he would. West Ham have one job, and that is to go down. Book it. If we take 3 points here, book it. Because West Ham has Arsenal next. And that would be an appropriate bottle, by the way, if Arsenal lose to West Ham. That would be an appropriate bottle. As Spurs come down with possession here. To beat Arsenal, City fan here, huh? Okay. As that one will go over, it's just too much. And nice save right there by Martinez, as it looked like Matisse Tell was through. Palhinha played one over the top, and Martinez actually had to dive for that one. So here comes Villa. They have been getting forward a little bit better in the last 5-10 minutes. As that one's going to get taken away by Spurs. Pass forward, here's Richarlison. Spurs will hold on to it, though. There's going to be a shot that's going to go into orbit by Randall Colomwani. So to beat Arsenal, City fan here, yeah. By the way, I'm actually hoping for that very thing to happen, if I'm being perfectly honest. Although Arsenal do hold a 6-point lead, they've won their last 2. City have won their last 3. I'm not a big fan of this ref cam, as this one will be a goal kick to Villa, as Martinez is a little bit under pressure here. Coming forward is Kevin Danso. He gets his head on it, but Spurs come away with the ball. Here we go. Good. Oh, that's just a heavy touch. He's going to have to play this one back out to Colo. And they're going to say offside. I would love to see an Arsenal bottle job. It's going to take a few more lapses from Arsenal. Although for the sake of our survival, you kind of need Arsenal to do their job next week. That ball's taken away by Destiny Udoji. Here's Matisse Tell now. Oh, nice try there by Matty Cash, but it springs Matisse Tell. There's a ball that's going to take a deflection. As Matty Cash tried to make the challenge, but it sprung Matisse Tell. No, actually, there was no deflection whatsoever. That was just terrible. As De Zerbi's not happy about something, as this ball will go long. As Spurs come away with it, it's Matisse Tell. As that one will find Mickey Van de Ven. And Spurs will try to reset here. That's a good ball forward. Does find Colomwani. There's the switch to the left, and it finds Matisse Tell. As Matty Cash comes in to try to close down space, he does. Spurs have done a fantastic job in this first half. 2 goals. That's a good pass right there by Spurs. And that one has to go all the way back as Villa start pressing. As this ball finds Big Tony Kinski. And he will find Pedro Porro. As this one gets played back. As Kinski plays it forward. Here comes Villa. Oh, a nice way to intercept that pass right there by Rodrigo. And there's a whistle right there against Maatsen. Against Colomwani. A big thanks to the 1,000 of you that are tuning in via YouTube X and Facebook. It's good to have you along for this one. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it, as Tony Kinski will play this one forward as that comes down. And it looks like it's going to be Matisse Tell challenging for that ball. Play resumes. And it looks like Villa is not going to come away with this one. Here comes Spurs now on the counter. It's Pedro Porro. He does have the overlap. Oh, man, I thought he was going to take another rip from that angle. Now, Spurs are going to try to work this down the right-hand side. As Kevin Danso will play it deep down the right-hand side. Oh, nice move to the outside, around the corner. Oh, good defense by Villa. Did Spurs just take it away? Yeah, they did. It goes out, though. Good hustle by Richarlison. As Spurs have 7 shots to Villa's 0. As we are now in the 40th minute. As Roberto De Zerbi has to be pleased with what he's seen in the first half. As Spurs are going to be about 50-ish minutes away from a massive 3 points and back-to-back wins for the first time in God knows how long. And to do it against Villa away, as that will take a ricochet, but this ball gets played back to Kevin Danso as we are now in the 41st. Here's Pedro Porro. Porro is going to try to hit the switch, and he does. Here's Tell. As Gallagher has to play this one back. Now, there's no point in that switch. As that ball gets played forward. Squeaking through is Kolo Muani. Here's Randall. Randall to the outside. Plays one in. Back post. Headed forward. Here's Tell. Ooh, deflected. Matisse. Matisse, check your drawers, Tell. Oh, Matisse. That shot went fucking nowhere near, pardon my French, went absolutely nowhere near the goal. Check your drawers. As Martinez will play this one long. And Spurs will come away with it again. Look at, we got a guy named Money G. G Money. Gotta like that name. Here's Kinski. Nice little sliding pass right here to Kevin Danso. As that ball will get the switch to the left-hand side. Here comes Mickey Van de Ven. As that ball will go into a central area. Play it along now down the right-hand side. Spurs have actually been really successful down that right-hand side. They keep going down it. Why not? As Gallagher has to play it back. As it goes into Big Tony Kinski. Big Tones. I don't know. Big Tony Tones just might be my goalkeeper next year. Oh, that's a good play right here. As Spurs hold possession. That's a good ball forward to the races. Oh. Was that Tyrone Mings? Yeah. Yeah, if reports are to believe that Vicario has agreed to personal terms with Inter, and there's no reason to play Vicario the rest of the season, it should be Kinski as the number 1 between now and the end of the year. This will be and there's a yellow card against Rodrigo Betancourt. Late challenge. There should be no reason for Vicario playing for the rest of the season. Not at all. So Betancourt gets booked for the late challenge. So this will be a free kick. As it looks like it'll be Morgan Rogers. As we are approaching the 45th minute now. Spurs have to stay absolutely turned on this on this free kick. So, yeah, just a minute of extra time here. Ball goes in, headed away, and there's going to be a foul. So a minute of extra a minute of added time here. 1 minute. 1 minute. Was that Jadon Sancho actually that took it? Yeah, it was. As Mings will get whistled for the foul there for an elbow. As I can't believe it, man. There are fans that are actually leaving Villa Park. It's the half. As Spurs fans. As Villa fans are dead silent here. As Kinski will play this long. And there's the first half. With Spurs leading by 2. 2 massive goals in the first half to set the tone for Spurs. Goals by Conor Gallagher in the 12th. And 13 minutes later, Richarlison checks in with a header as Spurs do lead 2-0 at the half. Man, oh man. That is the best possible scenario for this Hotspur team, as now they are just 45 away from a massive 3 points that'll put them above the relegation line. So let's looking at the halftime stats. Spurs do lead the possession battle, 62-38. They also lead the XG battle, 1.05 to 0.00 for Villa. Total shots, 8-0. Shots on target, 4-0. Big chances, 2-0 Spurs. And Spurs have actually missed one big chance. Accurate passes, 256 to 146. Fouls committed, Villa 6, Spurs 5. And Spurs lead the corner battle 3-0. When you're looking at XG from open play, Spurs are at a 0.51, and of course Villa is just 0 all the way across the board. Spurs do have a better XG from set plays at 0.54. Let's see. When we're looking at in-depth in the shots, Spurs do lead that 1-4-0 shots on target. They also have 2 block shots. They've hit the woodwork once. Shots inside the box, Spurs 5-0, and shots outside the box 3-0. Overall passes, Spurs 282 to 173. Passes in the own half, 140 to 98. Passes in the opposition half, 116 to 48 to Spurs. Spurs lead accurate long balls 9-0. Accurate crosses 6-0 to Spurs. Villa has 6 throws to Spurs 5. Touches in the opposition box 17 to 1. And Spurs have been offside twice. Discipline, Spurs do have 2 yellow cards. The tackle battle on defense is even at 8-8. Spurs have 4 interceptions to Villa's 2. Villa does have 2 block shots. They also have 10 clearances to Spurs 1, and keeper saves 2-0. The duel battle, Spurs lead that 22 to 18. Ground duels 20-13 goes to Spurs. Aerial duels, Villa does lead that one 5-2, but successful dribbles, Spurs 7, Villa 0. So that lets you know exactly just how dominant they have been. West Ham is going to go crazy against Arsenal next week. Oh, how dare you, sir? As Jay says, that's the best half in years. Yeah, I would have to agree on that one. Let's see. It depends where Martinez goes, as he was rumored to be going to Inter as well. We'll definitely see. But what I will say is that there is no need to play Guillermo Vicario between now and the end of the season. There's just no need. Not to mention, it would be insanely disrespectful. It would be insanely disrespectful to Tony Kinski, who quite honestly has gotten better from a week-to-week basis. I'm not nervous when it comes to Tony Kinski anymore. Not that I really ever was, but let's see. Clipsandcompany.uk says we're staying up. I hope so. It certainly looks good. As I will be back in just 1 second. Right, we are back for the second half. As yeah, kind of use the bathroom there. All right, so it looks like D and H here on TikTok says agreed. Kinski has recovered well since that night. He needs to this to push on 100%, 100%. And I think that when you're looking at the goalkeeping position from a long term place, it makes absolutely no sense at this stage to play Vicario. He's had how many years now as the number one, the unequivocal number one. And one of the things about Vicario that I don't like is that we all know what his weaknesses are, and the dude just never gets better. The dude has just never worked on those weaknesses where they became a strength. All they have done is just continue to be a liability. And that goes for his positioning on the line. That goes from his approach from shots outside the box. It's just, it just continues to be, an Achilles heel for his game. Not to say that he can't compete at the Premier League level. That's not what I'm saying. It's just, when your opponent knows your weaknesses and continues to attack those weaknesses, eventually you want to be in a position where those no longer become weaknesses. And unfortunately that just hasn't happened. So it is what it is. Let's take a look at some games around the Premier League. And of course we begin on Friday as Leeds beat Burnley 3-1 as Anton Stach, Noah Okafor, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin all scored for Leeds. As Burnley got one from Khan in the 70th. Leeds will get all 3 points. Yesterday, what Brentford absolutely beat the absolute out of West Ham as they got goals from Mavropanos. Actually, that was an own goal from Mavropanos. Igor Thiago with a penalty in the 54th minute, and Damsgaard in the 83rd as Brentford puts away West Ham. And of course, that is huge for this game right here. Let's see. Yeah, Vic is too fragile, and I think the defense needs better reassurance behind him. Yeah, that's also true as well too. Vic has had a he's had himself a time though, because there were a lot of times where he was playing behind a patchwork defense, and with that, you're going to see a lot of shots come through. And so from that standpoint, yeah, I would understand. There are certain exceptions, but for the most part, yeah, Vic is fragile. Wolves and Sunderland played to a 1-1 draw as Santiago Bueno scored in the 54th minute, and Sunderland did get one from Mukalele in the 17th. But Daniel Ballard gets sent off in the 24th for Sunderland as they played a man down most of the time. So they were only able to walk away with a 1-1 draw. Newcastle beat Brighton 3-1 as Asula, Dan Burn, and Harvey Burns scored for Newcastle. Jack Hinchelwood in the 60th minute for Brighton. So Brighton concede 3 points to a Newcastle team. That's really not all that great. But, with a guy like Eddie Howe, whose job probably is on the line, that's kind of a big one right there for Newcastle. Arsenal beats Fulham 3-0 as Victor Gyökeres scored a brace in this one. He scored the 9th in the 45+4, and Bukayo Saka scored in the 40th minute as Arsenal pick up all 3 from Fulham. Bournemouth, how about the Cherries? How about the Cherries beating Palace 3-0? And by the way, Bournemouth looks like they are going to secure a European spot for next season. So congratulations to Andoni Iraola. And the question of why he would want to leave Bournemouth heading into a European campaign, who knows? But anyways, in the 10th minute, Jefferson Lerma got an own goal. Eli Jr. Krupi gets a penalty in the 32nd minute, and Rayon scores in the 77th minute for Bournemouth. So congratulations to the Cherries. That was a big win. Manchester United did beat Liverpool today 3-2 as Matthias Cunha, Benjamin Sesko, and Kobe Manu scored for Manchester United as Dominic Slozabai and Cody Gakpo scored for Liverpool. So Liverpool dropped points yet again. Interesting, as I would probably I would probably assume that just might be it for Arnie Slot as Liverpool coach. And of course, our match is 2-up at half. Later today, Chelsea will host Nottingham Forest. Actually, that's tomorrow. We'll host Nottingham Forest, and Everton will host Manchester City. Holy hell. And of course, as the standings are right now, the top 5 look like they're going to be secured, although, Unai Emery said that he does want to play for third. Well, you're down by 2 right now. As is, it looks like the top 5 is going to be solidified one way or another. Bournemouth sit in 6th, 1 point ahead of Brentford, who hold the 7th, and of course Brighton is right there. Chelsea and Fulham right there are only 3 points back of a European spot. Everton and Sunderland are 4 points back. So there still is a race to be had for the last 2 playoff European spots in the table. So there is still some fluidity, but the top 5 look to be secured. And, really, is there a race for the top spot? Potentially, but a lot has to happen. A lot has to go Arsenal's way. But as of right now, the bottom 3 are Wolves, who have been relegated. Same thing with Burnley. They've been relegated. But West Ham currently sits in 18th place, 36 points. And as of right now, Spurs are sitting in 17th place on 37 points. And if things are to hold, now all of a sudden, there is a potential that Spurs could potentially leapfrog Forest if things go their way. And that would really, really secure their spot. But as of right now, you kind of take things one step at a time. We have to close down this final 45 minutes. Damo on TikTok does say Bournemouth fifth. Mark my words. Okay, well, Bournemouth, by the way, are 6 points clear of Villa. So again, you're asking for a Villa collapse, and Bournemouth are going to have to put their foot on the gas. Let's see. Damo says, do you think Thomas Frank should have seen the season through? Absolutely not. He should have been fired back in November. It was clear that it was clear early that there was going to be a problem with Thomas Frank and these players. I think it was obvious that the players didn't necessarily respond to what Thomas Frank was asking him to do, because this is a team that was essentially built for Ange Postecoglou. This is a team that the players, its core identity is attacking football. And when you're asking them to literally play 10 behind the ball at all times, and you're not playing balls through, you're essentially playing for ties, and you're playing for points off of corners. Yeah, it's just not going to work. And I think as this thing got into December and as it was slipping away, you can see the body language of the players. They look like they wanted to be anywhere else besides the pitch. They were not having fun under Thomas Frank. The other interesting thing is that Thomas Frank wasn't engaged with the players. He had his his assistants do that, and that goes for asking players to do a specific job. And when your assistants are the one that are coming to players to say, hey, this is what we'd like you to do, they would rather hear from the head coach. And so there would be players that wouldn't even talk to Thomas Frank for weeks and had no idea where they stood. And that's not how you approach a Premier League club. You have to be invested. You have to lay down challenges. And, that's why Roberto De Zerbi has come in. But what I liked about Roberto De Zerbi is that he hasn't run away from the injuries, right? He's actually kind of embraced it. He hasn't used it as an excuse. That's what I appreciate about Roberto De Zerbi. He wasn't a part of the problem of this season, and he's also not using it as an excuse either. He is actually embracing it and using that as a challenge. And you lose a guy like Xavi, and that's a pretty big loss. And look at what they've been able to do. It's amazing. Let's see. Yeah, that's terrible man management. Yeah, just shows some manager are actually just simply shit at their job. Now, I wouldn't say that he's shit because he proved at a level in the Premier League that he was capable of doing a good job. He did it at Brentford for 8 years, so you have to give him some credit. He just wasn't ready for that level. That's terrible man management. It is. Are those gang tattoos? They are not. They are not gang tattoos. Nope. These are not gang tattoos, my friend. I am gang neutral. Look at Man United under Carrick. That's a perfect example. That's a perfect example. We have to take Colo off. For who? For who? Tudor, though, if the Zerbi was available sooner, I could see y'all like 12th or 15th. Yeah, but yeah. That just goes to show you the incompetence of Johan Lang and Vinay Venkatesan. So play has begun here in the second half, as Villa will begin with possession, as they are playing from right to left now. And of course, they are 2 goals down. And it looks like they have kept their starting 11 in, as that ball will go all the way back. And looks like big Kevin Danso will be on the ball, as Spurs again, as that one will go out. As Spurs will have the throw in now. I'm a tune back in post match to hear your thoughts. All right, man. Let's see. Spurs cannot switch off, as they have to know the importance of these points. Yeah, for sure. I agree. As here comes Villa now. As that one is going to take a deflection and get out. So it looks like Villa will get their first corner of the match, coming at the 46-minute mark here in the second half. So, all right, here we go. Here we go. As this will be yet another set piece for Villa, as they're going to try to play this one short. And there's going to be a whistle, as it looks like they're going to say he was offside. As Unai Emery is not pleased. Just a quick reminder for those that are tuning in, man. Do me a favor and please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell. Let's help this channel get to 500 subs, and I would appreciate it. So this will be a goal kick for Spurs, and it looks like both Archie Gray and Lucas Bergvall have gotten up, as Tony Kinski prepares to play this one long, as it looks like Spurs come away with this one. Oh, that's great football right there, as this one will go down to Randall Kolo Muani, as he is flanked by Maatsen. There's the ball around the corner. Kolo beats him, but he slows up for some stupid reason. There's a ball in. Headed away. Headed forward. And it'll be Matisse Tell. I think this one gets out as Matty Cash strips him up. That should be a foul against Matty Cash, but it won't be. So this will be a throw-in for Villa, as that'll get out, and it'll be a Spurs throw-in. Spurs now will hold possession, as that one will go back to Big Tony's. Big Tony. Big Tones. Setting the tone. He's been decent. As this one will find Big Kevin. Big Kev Danso, as they play this one out to the left. As it'll find its way back to Tony Kinski. And now it's VDV. VDV! As Villa's doing a good job here. They're kind of closing down space, making it hard for Spurs to move up, as Tony Kinski has to figure out what to do with this ball, and he does. As he sends this out to Matisse Tell. Matty Cash was right there, though. And right there is VDV. VDV is such a baller. And there's going to be a whistle. Spurs lead by 2. And that looks like that might be Ollie Watkins. As you're going to see some of Villa's heavy hitters. Yeah, they're getting warmed up. And the question is whether Unai is going to use them. How really important is this match for Villa versus the match against Forest on Thursday? As that's a good play by Spurs. They're going to come away with this one. And there's going to be a whistle against Barkley. And that's going to be a yellow. As Conor Gallagher, that was just a hustle play by Gallagher. You have to wonder whether or not this match really matters. As Villa, do sit in a little bit more of a comfortable position inside the top 5 where you don't. Oh, that's a good through ball. Oh, VDV with a good sliding challenge right there. And there's Tony. How bad have Spurs been through this season, though? They've been terrible. We're in a relegation scrap. What do you think? That's not a good season if you're battling relegation. But you have to ask a question about whether or not Villa should really empty the tank to try to get back into this one. Because again, they sit 6 points above Bournemouth for that 6th spot, and they actually have just an absolute master of a massive game coming up against Forest, where they're looking to advance to that final. So at the end of the day, is this match really all that important for Villa? Does that 3 points really? The only thing it does is it leapfrogs Liverpool, and they still have to catch Man United for 3rd. Oh yeah, I think you're right, Tom. Yeah, this is a massive club, and it definitely needs big signings in the summer. I wouldn't disagree. As Villa now will hold possession. I'm sure we'll see. That's just a bad pass that gets out. Oh, that was a bad pass by Tyrone Mings. As Spurs will throw it in. As here's Zhao. Playing off of Conor Gallagher. As that one plays back to Kevin Danso. As now he's going to have to chip this one over the back just to find VDV. Here's Udoji. And it goes all the way back to Big Tony Kinski. Here's Kevin Danso. As he does have space. And here's Zhao. Here's Porro. And there's going to be a whistle right there against Yuri Tielemans. As Porro goes down. Yeah. It's a late tackle right there by Yuri. What's going on, Natesky? RIFC TID. So Spurs will have a free kick from a deep position here off the right side. As it will be Pedro Porro. Let's go, Big Paid. Vote for Pedro, as they're going to play this one short. Here's Pedro Porro. Oh, that was just a terrible use of a free kick here. Here's Porro. It'll be Matisse Tell. Here's Porro again. Now he's going to play one back post. That got way out of way out of control here, but Spurs will hold. Here's Connor G as he goes 1v1 against Matty Cash. Yeah, they're going to have to turn around and retreat. Here's Destiny Udoji. And now it's Pedro Porro. He's got acres. As he's going to take a shot, and that's going to get nowhere near the target. As we are approaching the 55th minute now, 10 minutes have gone by in the second half. Spurs looking for their third to put this one away. As Villa fans are getting a little nervy here. As they definitely have a little bit better of a bench than we do. That kind of goes without saying. That one's going to take a deflection back to Martinez. As Villa's trying to play it through. That's a good sliding tackle. Spurs come away with it. Here's Pedro Porro trying to play it ahead. That's good defense right there by Maatsen to take the ball away. Heavy of a touch. Spurs come away with it yet again. So just like the first half, Villa's been sloppy. That's a good turn. As this plays out to the left. As G-Money will have to play it back. Here's Tell. Sammy D says, I want y'all to lose so bad. Wow. All right, Sammy. Why? Why so badly? As I think this one will, sorry, man. I think that one goes against Matisse Tell. So Villa will have possession here as we're approaching the 57th minute. Oh, wow. As that one will get out as Spurs were pressing Lindelof quite a bit. As Villa fans can't believe it. I like it. As a United fan, okay. Yeah, okay. You'll never be the same United. As this one will get out, and I think this is going to be a Spurs corner here. It will be. As Matisse Tell will take the corner. Spurs have a big opportunity here. As Tell plays one in. Headed away. Kept in. Chipped over. As that will come to the backside. And I think they're going to say offside, yeah. As a United fan, huh? And I believe, yeah, it looks like Ollie Watkins is coming on. Big Ollie W. Ollie G, baby. As a United fan. United. So here comes Villa trying to cut through the middle of the park. They are getting harassed as it makes its way back to Mings. Here's Lindelof. As that ball will get away. And they're going to... Interesting. So there is going to be a switch now as Abraham comes off in the 59th minute. And here comes Ollie Watkins. Don't let Ollie Watkins beat you. So this will be a free kick for Villa. As that'll come down, Spurs will have possession here. As that'll get out of play, I think that'll go off against Villa. It will. So Unai Emery is kind of hitting the panic button here as he puts on Ollie Watkins. As that'll get out of play as well. And they're going to say this is a Villa throw-in. Okay. As we reach the 60th minute now, so 30 minutes left to play. Can Villa get back into this one, or have Spurs done enough? Can they keep the clean sheet? Here comes Villa now. Ball to the left. Cuts in. As that one will take a deflection. As Morgan Rogers tried to get one on. So that'll be a corner here for Villa. As Jadon Sancho. Or is that T. Elements? Yeah, that's T. Elements. Watch for Ollie Watkins. As that ball goes in. Back post, Kinski. Oh, big Tony Tones. As that ball goes in. Tipped away. Foot race. Villa will hold it. Ball over the top, headed away. Spurs in control. Now there's a foot race down the left-hand side. Matisse Tell. Cuts in and loses possession. Here comes Villa. Oh, good 1-2 right here. As this one will go to the outside. Oh, look at Conor Gallagher. Good hustle play by Gallagher. Oh, what a play right there. And there's a whistle. As João Palhinha. What a hustle play by João. As he comes in and makes the tackle, picks up the dribble, and then draws the foul. As Unai is just not happy. That was such a good play by João Palhinha. Taking it off of Barkley. And then drawing the contact. As Kolomwani gives the big dog a kiss, but nonetheless, Spurs lose possession. And it comes back to Villa, who in the second half really have controlled possession. No doubt about it. Here comes Maatsen. Tries to cut in. Loses possession. Here's Porro. Spurs lose possession again. Here comes Villa now. Cutting into the central area. Tries to put a shot on. That's going to take a deflection. As here's Kolo Muani now. And he will get a foul here against Ollie Watkins. As we are now approaching the 64th, it's going to be interesting to see The type of moves that De Zerbi are going to make, as it looks like Betancourt is down. Why Spurs of all teams? What do you mean, Adam? Yep. Dempsey. Got a couple of them right there on the wall, my friend. Yeah, there's the Dingus twins right there. As Spurs need to hang on as they are now 25 minutes from the gate. Is Betancourt coming off? All right. I think Betancourt's coming off. It's funny. West Ham not going to be happy. So here comes it looks like there's going to be a double switch here. As Yves Bissouma is going to come on. And it looks like Jed Spence is coming on. Oh boy. So Kolo Muani will come off. Look at Kolo Muani at the Spurs at the away section. Any thoughts on Arteta possible double? Well, they have to accomplish it first. So Jed Spence comes in off the right side. I'm wondering if that's going to move Porro farther up the pitch here. As Kinski plays this long. As Spurs come... Oh, I thought Spurs were going to come away with it. They do. They do come away with it. Here we go. As that one does go out of play, I think Spurs will actually have the possession here. Spurs do need to get forward and actually make a statement here. As that one will get out. That was Lindelof. I'll see it when I believe. I'll believe it when I see it, my friend. I don't think Arteta is capable. Was Conor Gallagher signing a just anybody will do signing? That's a very good question. That's a very good question. As that one will go in. And it looks like West Ham will take over. I think, we kind of needed somebody in that midfield to play further up. But when we got Conor Gallagher, he was being played as a 6. But when De Zerbi came in, they kind of moved him up a little bit, and he's played a lot better. As Villa will come away with possession here, as we are now in the 68th minute now. 21 minutes remain. Spurs lead by 2. Time is running out as this ball goes over the top as they try to find Ollie. And that's offside. I wonder if we're going to see Matters today. As Tony plays this long. As that's going to get headed down, but it's going to find Pedro Porro. It's going to find Conor Gallagher, excuse me. As Spurs have possession now. As that'll go out. As that was last touched by Villa, so Spurs will have to throw in. Yeah, I would agree with that statement. Yeah, I don't think Levy was the issue either. Turns out that Vinny Venkatesham and Johan Lang aren't exactly the sharpest tools in the shed, as that one will just get skied for some. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, there was a reason. Anyway, Villa have possession as we are now in the 70th minute. As Spurs take this one away. As this gets played back to Tony, as he's going to try to chip this forward down the left-hand side. He does. Here's Basuma, and Basuma gets taken down. Play resumes. There's a shot that's going to be deflected. Chipped forward, headed away by Danso. As Richarlison's done a great job. Oh, here comes Jadon Sancho now. There's a chip to the back post. There's nobody there, as that'll get out. I think that was Yuri Tielemans. Spurs will have the goal kick now, as we're now 19 minutes away. As Villa's doing a really good job now with pressing. As that's a good ball forward. Here's Jed Spence now. Spence has got a step. Here comes Spence in the box. Cuts over. Lays it off. Here's Conor Gallagher. Now here's Jed Spence. Cuts in. Spence tries to shoot. Oh, and he missed. And he was offside anyway. Yeah, that laid back. Conor Gallagher played him forward and he was offside. And so was Richarlison. So here comes Villa. Time continues to waste. For Villa. Spurs have looked good. Yep. Clint Dempsey also played for Fulham along with Bocanegra and McBride. Why not Fulham? That's a very good question. Because I'm a Spurs fan. But by the way, Deuce was, by the way, I think Deuce is Fulham's all-time leading scorer in the Premier League. So he certainly was very good for Fulham. Mick Brizzle was pretty decent as well too. FYI, I'm an Arsenal fan. Yeah. Okay. So is my brother, by the way. That's cool. From Minnesota, huh? The land of 10,000 lakes. Anthony Edwards is a hell of a player for the Wolves. As this ball will go into a central area, nearly ticked away for Spurs. As this one now goes down to the left-hand side. Here's Matson. Plays one in. There's Danso. As he clears this thing out. Although I do have to say that I'm not a big NBA guy, but Anthony Edwards is a hell of a player. Let's see. Coys, damn it. There you go. Abe Delgado. As T. Elements will play one short, as that one will stay in. Here's T. Elements again trying to make something happen. That's a good deflection right there defensively. As that ball's won by Spurs. Good hustle play by Pedro Porro. Nightly watch for Celtic to lose, which they did. Okay. Tyler sent $15. How about that, Tyler? Good for you. Thank you. That was certainly awesome of you, Tyler. As there's a ball forward. Oh, nice play right there by VDV. Here we go. Spurs on the break. Tries to chip it forward. Spurs still hold possession. Trying to get around the corner. That's going to get out. Tyler also sent $150. Jesus. I have no reason to beef with Celtics. The beef is all in one direction. Yeah, Jason Tatum is a nice player, though. You got to admit that. As that one will eventually get out. So we're in the 75th minute. 15 minutes remain. Spurs do clean to a 2-0 lead. How about that, man? Tyler coming strong. As that one gets played all the way back. So it will be a Villa throw-in. $15 away from 3 points. Or should I say 15 plus stoppage time. There's a ball that's going to go down the left-hand side. As they're going to say it's Spurs possession, as Morgan Rogers going to say Morgan Rogers was the last to touch it. And out comes a yellow card for his trouble, apparently. Yeah, certainly it touched him last. My Philly friend is very happy right now. They beat Celtics in Game 7. I have no idea what's going on in the NBA, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But congrats to the 76ers, as Tony Kinski has to play it out. So Villa's applying pressure here, as Mattson will have the throw-in. As Villa will now try to play it down the right-hand side, as that goes back to Lindelof. Spurs damn near take it away. But Mings will play it down to Mattson. There's a ball forward. Good pass forward to Rogers. Taken away by Kevin Danso. That was just a bad pass right there. And that has to get chipped forward. And that'll be out of bounds by Mattson. So Spurs will have the throw in. As we are now in the 78th minute. What do Spurs need for De Zerbi to compete for top 4 if they stay up? Better footballers. Much better footballers. As that throw-in goes to a central area. Headed down. Spurs will come away with it. That's a good pass forward. And Villa take it away. As Richarlison will get back up. One of the things about it is Villa certainly has controlled the possession here in the last 20 minutes, but again, no shots, as there's going to be a whistle. I don't think Solanke's going to be here next year. I think they're going to get a better striker. They needed an entire new attacking three. They didn't. They still haven't replaced Harry Kane. They didn't replace Sonny last year. They need competition on the right side with Caduce as well too. They need like 8 positions refilled, as this one will go all the way to the right. As Tyrone Mings will get whistled for the foul as Udoji goes down. So yeah, there are, you know what I would do if I were Spurs? I would take a flyer on Monaco striker Flo Balogun. He has probably been the best striker in the French Ligue 1. So it looks like, yeah, it looks like Villa will be making a double change here, and it looks like Villa fans in the 80th minute are headed for the exits here, as that one from Kinski will go out. As this goes all the way back to Martinez now. As we'll see what Villa can do. That's a good pass forward. There's space. Good ball forward. Trying to find Ollie Watkins as Kevin Danso is all over him, but it does squeak out to the right. Here we go. Oh. Is there a whistle? There is. As Danso came over to challenge, and he has his arms completely around him. For a step into the Premier League, I think he would take it. Especially if the money's right. I think he would take it. For a jump up in talent to a big club, especially if we stay up, 100% he'd take it. So this will be a free kick as Yuri Tielemans and Morgan Rogers will stand over this one. But Balogun is an Arsenal product, right? So there's also that to think about. As here comes Spurs as they come away with this one now. As Spurs are on the break. As they slow things up a little bit. As we are now in the 82nd minute, 8 minutes remain. You know who I want, though. As that one will get played all the way out. Last touch, I believe, by Villa. Apparently not, Adam. Apparently they have come out and said, Spurs have come out and said that they're going to adjust their wage scales. If it's the right person, they'll pay it. I want Christian. That's who I want. So this will be a corner for Spurs as we're now in the 83rd. Can Spurs get their third? And it'll be Pedro Porro. As that will, ooh, Kevin Danso found it. It found the target, but Martinez was there. As Martinez will play this long. Headed forward and kick back as Villa will hold possession. Damn it. Christian Benteke? No, not Christian Benteke. Yeah, I don't want Benteke. As that's held in. Here's Sancho. As that'll take a deflection off of Yves Bissouma, so this will be a corner. Christian Pulisic. That's who I want. Pulisic in a Spurs shirt is tailor-made. The last thing I want is for him to end up at United. As that'll be headed out by Richarlison. Spurs have done a good job here late in this match, as that one will deflect all the way back. Will he want a Prem return? I know that he wants Champions League, so maybe not. But again, money. If we throw the bag at him. So Barkley will come out. As Villa will make a double switch here in the 85th minute. So Buendia comes in for Barkley. As play resumes and as there's no whistle, that's a good sliding tackle. Spurs last to touch it, so that'll go out. And Bailey has come on for, I believe it was Sancho. So there you go. No, I think with the inclusion of Roberto De Zerbi, I think Spurs will have an interesting player pool in which to choose from. Just considering the Italian connections of De Zerbi, as that ball pings around and it's finally cleared by Spurs. Do I have to send a Galaxy to stay on the stream? Huh? I don't know what that means. I wouldn't say Sunderland have top talent. They've definitely got good talent, but I wouldn't say they have top talent. I think the only dude that I would take from Sunderland is probably Granit Xhaka. So here comes Sunderland again. That's a good through ball. That'll get out. Van de Ven does his job. Still no shots on goal for Villa. Yeah, Noah Sadiki's okay. And if he's wanted by Arsenal, that's cool. He's not actually going to play, except in rotation. As the fans have cleared out at Villa Park, as Tony Kinski will play this long. That'll get over the head and it'll get out of play. So Villa will have the throw in. As we are getting down to the closing minutes here at Villa Park. Oh, yeah, for sure. I'd take Robin Roofs. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Roofs. But I wouldn't mind developing Kinski. As we are now approaching the 88th minute here at Villa Park. As Villa, again, have held a bulk of the possession here in the last 20, 25, 30 minutes, but still no shots on net, as Udogie and Buendia battle for it there. Looks like this will be a corner. Yeah, that would have been cool to have Morgan Gibbs-White. Let's not talk about MGW. That was embarrassing. As this one will go in. Headed over the crossbar. Pretty close there. Man, it looks like that was Mings that got onto it. As he sends it over. As we are now in the 89th minute. As Spurs are pretty close to getting their second straight win, and a very important win, as they do put them above the drop, as they have fully taken advantage of what was in front of them. A must win. And it looks like Lucas Bergvall and Papsar now are going to check in, as Richarlison's down. But Richarlison is going to get up here. Striker and left wing. Mm. As we have 5 minutes of added time now. No, I didn't message that guy. I turned off his messages. That's what I did. As here comes Villa. As I believe this one will get out. So Bergvall on, Tell off. No, Caduce plays on the right. As we are now 3 minutes away. As Spurs fans are jumping for joy. As we are pretty damn close now, 2.5 minutes out. As there's going to be a whistle. As it looks like if things are to hold, Spurs will get their second clean sheet, as that one will be misplayed. Spurs will come away with it, as that'll get out of bounds, as Papsar was under pressure there. As we are coming up on 2 minutes remaining. As Spurs can't let up the intensity here. As there's a switch to the left side. As that'll be taken away. And then that ball is going to get shot up the left-hand side as they clear it. 1.5 minutes remaining. I would like to keep those two for one more season. That would be great. I don't think that's going to happen, though. As here comes Villa now down the left-hand side. Taken away again, as that'll get out of bounds. They're going to say Spurs ball. One minute remains. As Pedro Porro will inbound, he'll play it forward. And there's a whistle. 45 seconds remain. As there's an in throw as Kevin Danso will head it back out. 30 seconds remain. As Spurs fans are going crazy in the corner. As that gets played back to Martinez. As that ball will go forward. As that's headed away. 10 seconds remain. As Jed Spence will get a whistle. Maybe. That's a good question. That's a very good question. Yeah, there's got to be added. There's got to be added talent to the squad. But yeah, definitely a healthy squad would help. As there's the overlap. As that's taken away and played out of bounds to Villa. As we are now in the 95th minute. As we are waiting for the final whistle. As that swings to the right. As that ball goes in, headed on. Oh, and they find the back of the net. A late goal for Villa. God damn it. As Matty Cash put one on the money. And that was a good header right there. Looks like that was Bailey. But I think this is going to be too little too late. As this get played back to Tony Kinski. As he will send this down. As there it is. There's the final whistle. As Spurs get the 3. And will jump ahead of West Ham in the table with a 2-1 victory at Villa Park. What an excellent performance for Spurs today. Unbelievable performance. That's exactly what this team absolutely needed coming into today. The opportunity was set because West Ham didn't take advantage of their opportunity against Brentford, meaning that Spurs, with a win, get their 3 points and jump above them in this table. And now, what I will say is next week against Leeds at home, they have the opportunity to go 4 points clear heading into that Chelsea game. And at that stage, you're feeling a little bit better. But what I will say is that 2-1 is the victory. Monumental performance for Spurs. And that's exactly kind of what you wanted to see from this team. And we saw it really from the beginning under De Zerbi against Sunderland. It didn't necessarily go all that well, but we saw the performance against Brighton. We saw the performance last week against Wolves. And now we've seen it against a very, very, a very good Villa team at home. Yes, they were rotated, but still, typically over the last 18 months, that's still a match we still lose. And Spurs put in a very good shift. They jump out to a quick 2-0 lead, and they're able to hold it. So congratulations to Spurs. Massive win. An absolutely massive win today. And you start to feel a little bit better about yourself going into that Leeds match. And now all of a sudden, the sky is the limit, especially at home where we haven't really been all that great. So let's go ahead and take a look at the stats for this one. Spurs did win the possession battle 54-46, although Villa pretty much controlled the tempo there in the second half. Spurs win the XG battle 1.03 to 0.31. Total shots, Spurs 10, Villa 5. Shots on target, 5-1 Spurs. Big chances, 2-1. And Villa missed their one big chance. Accurate passes, 387 to 313 to Spurs. Fouls committed, 12 even. Corners were even, 5 apiece. XG from open play, Spurs 0.46 to 0.09 for Villa. XG from set play, 0.57 for Spurs, 0.22 for Villa. Block shots, 3-2 to Villa. Hit the woodwork, 1-0 Spurs. Shots inside the box, 6-2. Shots outside the box, 4-3 for Spurs. Total passes, 453 for Spurs, 347 to Villa. Passes in the own half, 220 to 190. Passes in the opposition half, 167, 123. Accurate long balls were even at 13. Accurate crosses, Spurs 8, Villa 2. Throws, 21-17 to Villa, but touches in the opposition box, 19-7 for Spurs. Offside, Spurs were offside, 4 to Villa's 2. Yellow cards, Spurs had 5. Villa had 2. Defensively, the tackle battle, Spurs won that one 22-19. Interceptions, 10-4 to Spurs. Blocks, 3-2 to them. Clearances, Spurs 16 to 14. Keeper saves, 3-0. That went to Villa as Kinski really didn't have much to do today. The duel battle goes to Spurs 45-44. Ground duels, we won that one 40-36. Aerial duels, they won that 8-5. And successful dribbles, we won that 7-5. And again, it really kind of was a tale of two halves. You kind of had a feeling Villa would find their way into this one. And they most certainly did. We were the aggressor in the first half. They controlled possession in the second half, but again, not a lot of shots on target for Villa, even when they were controlling the possession. Spurs stepped into space to take away balls. They were more than willing to challenge. And again, that was a beautiful performance all the way around for Spurs as they were able to take all 3 against Villa. And now they currently sit 1 point above. 1 point above the drop. If they've won 2 in a row now on the bounce, they beat Wolves and now they beat Villa. So that will set them up for Leeds next weekend at home. And of course, if they are able to take care of Leeds, that will vault them into 40 points. And that probably should be enough for safety. But again, that only puts them 4 points clear. But what it does is it leapfrogs Nottingham Forest. And of course, on Sunday, May 10th, Forest hosts Newcastle. And West Ham play Arsenal. So again, if we handle our business against Leeds, Newcastle takes care of Forest, and Arsenal take care of West Ham, we will leapfrog Forest into 16th place. And at that stage, that just leaves us 2 against Chelsea and Everton. And, the way that we're playing, man, the way that we're playing at the current moment, do I like our chances against Chelsea? Yes and no, but, would I be okay with a draw in that situation? Not at all. Not at all. I agree with Dan, the travel man. I think we're staying up. This was the match that really kind of solidified it for me. By the way, Chelsea have lost 5 in a row. They're not playing well at all. But this was the one. This was the match, right? This was the one where you controlled your entire destiny, right? Brentford had helped you out, and now, these type of opportunities don't come along, especially for Spurs, they don't come along all that well. And so really what was needed today was a complete performance, right? We needed the 3 points, and quite honestly, they showed up. They did the job, and that's all that you can ask for. And now all of a sudden, back-to-back wins. And, you also have a good draw against Brighton as well, too. And now all of a sudden, this team has a tremendous amount of confidence heading into that Leeds match. So sky's the limit. And I think that this team stays up now. And I'm ecstatic. I'm through the roof, right? There's nothing better than your team doing their, handling their business on the weekend. And we'll see. You will get 5 wins in a row before United. Is that, by the way, there's a United fan on TikTok that I think he said he wouldn't cut his hair until United won 5 in a row. And I think it's been like 4 years now or whatever. That guy's actually pretty funny, but United. By the way, congratulations to United. That was a hell of a turnaround when they got rid of Ruben Amorim. So, congratulations to Michael Carrick. Oh, yeah. So it's been 2 years. Yeah. Okay. They still haven't won 5 in a row. That seems kind of odd because they're playing incredibly well. But yeah. So anyway, Spurs do get the victory today. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This has been absolutely fantastic. Again, I can't say much about it. What I will say is that, for a team that had been devoid of confidence for much of the campaign, outside of the first couple months, they had reeled off 17 points in their first, 15, 20 matches heading into November, and then it all fell apart. And then injuries started, becoming a normal. And, this team literally went from essentially a top 5 position to a relegation place in a very short amount of time. And, they made the decision to not add talent in January, and they made the decision to hold on to Thomas Frank for far too long. They tried Igor Tudor. It didn't work out. And now you got Roberto De Zerbi, and that has worked out. And, with 7 left, I didn't think it was impossible, but one thing that was needed was for a man manager to come here and give this team confidence. And they certainly did. And that's all that you can hope for. And if this team can stay up, the sky is the limit heading into the summer, because now, just like last year, when you head into the summer, you're heading into it with momentum. And that is the best way to head into a summer that you can ask for. Now, of course, the job isn't done. There's still, we still have 3 games left, but it looks as if this team is going to stay up. And so from that standpoint, fantastic. My man of the match today, I went with Conor Gallagher. I'm going to stick with Conor Gallagher. I thought he had a good performance today. And of course, he got the first goal, which was just an absolute cracker. Man, that was such a good goal. And congratulations to Conor Gallagher. You do get my man of the match. As I went off the beaten path for that one this morning, but yeah, it was a no-brainer. Yeah, I would agree with you, Adam. This actually is. It's not just a this season thing. We also had an injury crisis last year as well, too. So, but I do want to thank everybody for tuning in. Tonight, we do have a show as we hand out year-end grades for the U.S. men's national team, their player pool. So that's going to be fun. And tomorrow night, Fabian Rankel will join me for the show that was supposed to be on Thursday, as we discuss the Vancouver Whitecaps and their situation within Major League Soccer. So there's plenty to go for the next 24 hours here on the channel. So please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell as, let's get this channel up to 500 subs. That would be fantastic. And also make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. That like button as well, too. Thank you, guys. It's been fun. Take care. Have a great rest of your Sunday. And more importantly, have a great start to your work week. Take care.